Hey guys, what's going on? This is Brad from the Ad Army, and today I have a quick video on Phantom Nightmare, and I'm just going to try to go about it in a quick way, so I don't want to stay too long on it. This is me talking about my thoughts on it, so obviously it's like what I think about it. Pretty much, I think this is a great set, but this is not a great set for people who are expecting returns on cards, and what I mean is this. A box right now is about 70, 76, at least TCG, right? This is opening day, so prices might go down. My problem with the set is there are lots of cards that are top heavy here that if you do not get them, you're going to be in a bad position. And there's some cards here that are obviously lower in terms of the rarity that they should be or what they could have been. But and I mean, it's still tough, right? So going into it, we have a few cards that are leading the set. Obviously, Snake Eye Popular or Populous, Low being the voiceless card that or the voiceless searcher, which I really like, but it's expensive. Promethean Princess obviously is sitting at $40 for ultra rare, as I wouldn't say rightfully should. It's a very good card. It's gonna be in a lot of decks. And there's a lot of other cards that are obviously I'm avoiding the quarter century cards because to me they don't really count in that you're not guaranteed to get one. So yeah, just kind of ignore them while I'm going through to each. And I kind of want to get across like why this video is kind of important for me. So once we get to this, like the second page, the prices kind of just drop from being, kind of expensive, like 20 plus for or 30 plus for like the QCRs to like the actual cards, which is like Vados, the Eruption Dragon, which is a part of the Ashen archetype. It's sitting about $12 as it should because it's a mainstay for the deck. So it's one of the key components. However, we have the next voiceless card sitting at like $10, which is the Ultra. These prices might go down, guys. So, I'm not tentatively saying, oh, this is it. It's just they're not super expensive, right? So yeah, and then obviously the Goblin Bikers have their cards. There's the additional traps that are here that are like the counter trap, which Iron Thunder, the Black Goat Laughs. I think it's an interesting card. I think the name's kind of weird though, because I don't understand why that one's called that because I don't know what it's supposed to be based on. Ubel's here, thank goodness. I thought that card, I was worried that this support would get overhyped, so people would be spending like a lot of money for the Ubel archetype, but I think it's going to be fairly budget, so for budget players, clap it up. Goblin Biker looking really cheap, so I'm just kind of putting it out there for you guys. I haven't done enough research into the deck, but I know it's not that bad, so I'm happy it's cheap. And we get to what I think is like the budget savior of the deck, or the savior of this set, which is like the Magic Spectre stuff. Magic Spectre is a very interesting archetype. The deck has a solid game plan. I'm happy this stuff is cheap, so if anyone did want to play it, or if they want to give it a shot, this will be your budget alternative if you want to give a new deck a try that's a bit different, because calling Magic Spectre new is kind of weird, but the point I want to get across is Magic Spectre definitely has tools to fight against this meta, so if you want to give it a shot, go for it. Metamorphosis being a good secret rare, but it's not really going to see play right now. So that may be like a card to pick up for his investment. Kind of reminds me of the Gravekeeper's secret rare card Inscription. So, think of it like that. Obviously, this is just me kind of enjoying a name, but you got a secret rare called Big Gabonga. I don't know if it's an OCG translation or a TCG translation, but that's just hilarious. And pretty much, I'm just reading off the cards here, but the point is, it's the drastic drop off. So, the ratio of how you get cards in terms of like if you're buying a case or not is different. But if you're buying a solid box, one of the worst things I think happens if you're expecting to get your money's worth is that you buy obviously one of these boxes. You may get a third secret rare, which is not impossible. I mean, I've had it before, but you usually get two. You don't even get a Starlight always, but now we have the QCRs. But point I want to get across is you don't have luck on your side usually in terms of value. You're just gonna get cards. You're gonna figure out how to do with it. I think this set isn't that good in terms of being, obviously profit friendly. This isn't just because of the fact that you have all these cards, a lot of secrets and ultras that are sitting about under like $5, which isn't a bad thing in my opinion. I think it's great for the market overall. So, don't take this as like a negativity thing. It's just, it sucks because I hate seeing people buy boxes and they're probably expecting to get something good because let's be honest, a lot of people probably want popular or populous. They want to get the Promethean princesses. They buy the box and then their box just doesn't have it, or they don't get lucky enough to see it. And there might be people who do, but it's not guaranteed. My point is the set is fantastic. I think all the cards in here are great. I like that the fact that this stuff is cheap. I think I just hate the fact that the box is so expensive. Maybe that's just how I'm feeling about it. Is like the box is like $70, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're not getting $70 worth of stuff here. Like you'd have to like really chance it, but hey, that's just my opinion on it. Um, the other problem obviously is going to be like the Snake Eyes engine. There are a lot of people who have it. I'm not gonna be like any of those people who are just gonna like. I'd be like at this point, beating a horse with a beating a dead horse with a stick, because obviously everyone's talked out of the wazoo about how expensive the engine is, how expensive everything's going to be. My thing is more of just looking at the prices and just being like, oh god. And then, but I know Bonfire's been inflated because of this, because I just checked on Bonfire. It was like low, like 90, 80. It's already over 100 now for the Ultra. That's not the QC the I think it's the QCR for it, or the collector's rare. That's already beyond that price already. So I'm just putting out there. It's like it's not going to be cheap. So it hurts. And the fact that I know the low, which is the voiceless prayer, or that card is already $60, and it's just like, oof, I think you need 3 of these for the voiceless deck. So that hurts. Pretty much. I mean, besides Promethean Princess, the problem with Promethean Princess is like you're gonna need at least one. So I'm not gonna be a guy to tell you not to pick up one, obviously, because if you're going to play a fire deck, you're gonna need it. I think the only fire deck, in my opinion, that can really compete without using Promethean is like maybe the stuff from Soul Burning Volcano. I think all 3 of those decks don't need to play it. Salamangreat definitely benefits from playing Promethean. I'm just saying, I'm not going to be that guy who says it doesn't. It can play without it, but I mean, it's a very good card, guys. That's the point. It's a very good card. Pretty much, yeah, there's just a lot. Yes, yeah, low is a very good card. So I was just reading it to make sure, and yeah, it does a lot. So, ugh. You're probably going to need 3 of these, so, you know, I'm just saying. Also, it having 50 attack is just kind of hilarious, but yeah. That's just that. What else is there to talk about here? There's a lot of good cards, like I said before. There's a lot of nuggets of good stuff, but my thoughts on Phantom Knightmare is that, jeez. It's hard to be a budget player and not say ouch, because obviously the cards that are here that are really good are mainstays of other decks. So unless you were trying to spend a lot of money on it, don't. So pretty much that's what I've got, guys. Just give it your best shot if you want to pick up these cards. If you do not, your wallet will probably thank you. But if you need to compete and you want to play at a higher level of the tournament, I completely understand. Go ahead and buy them. But if you can't, don't be afraid. There is lots of good cards here that are on a budget. If you just want to like tech out your deck with some new stuff, there's a lot, and I mean a lot of neat things here. There's some decks that I'm just very glad they're probably going to be about under like $50-$60 to build that aren't expensive here. Like I'm looking at Goblin Bikers, depending on what you combine it with, I think it's going to be a very cheap deck. Magic Spectre is cheap. I'm happy the Ashen stuff isn't too nuts. I don't know how many of the Vadoses you need to play, but the deck is looking relatively cheap. So, you know, go ahead, I guess, if you want to play Ashen. And yeah, there's just a lot of good stuff here. So that's it for me today. This is Brad from the Ad Army signing off. And for all of you out there, to sign on.